Now, Michael Palin has been around the world in 80 days. He's travelled from pole to pole, and most recently he's crossed the Sahara.
We're going to be talking to him in a moment, but first, here he is on a boys' night out, Sahara style.
Tacoma.
الفطور الفطور
الفطور.
ايوه شاي
Shay. Teaching me rude words. I can't. These little Tuareg soirees. Cheese is nice. Very nice. Cheers. En anglais, nous disons cheers. Cheers. Down the hatch. Bottoms up. Bottoms up. Bottoms up. Bottoms.
bottom
Bottom.
bottom
Bottoms
bottoms
up.
up
Yeah. Hey, great. Bottoms up.
bottoms up
Bottoms up.
bottoms up.
He's up. Very good.
It's a boys' night out in the Sahara. Well, there you are. Michael Palin joins us now. Good morning. You do have the best job, don't you?
Well, you know,
Revel in it.
someone's got to do it.
Somebody's got to do it.
It's tough. It can be tough. But actually, the thing about doing the journeys is that if things do go wrong, we've now realised this is what people really like. So, I mean, even if you get it wrong...
It's a bit like on this programme.
Well, exactly. There we go. Yes.
They love it when it goes
we don't
wrong.
get the travel.
It's a way to deal with any problems on television. So if I get ill or sick, people are terrible. Oh, they love that, you know.
Yes,
But,
you probably don't quite as much. Tell us about the new programme in the Sahara.
Well, Sahara was it was just a challenge. I thought, well, if I'm going to do another travel series, I can't go soft and do some nice cruise around the West Indies.
Is it you coming up with the ideas all the
tougher.
time?
Myself and my director came up with this idea, yes. And I thought, well, I'll test it out on the BBC. And I mentioned it to them, said Sahara, and there was a slightly glazed look from the manager. What? Empty desert and all that. But I mean, from what I'd read about the Sahara and what I've heard about it, I knew that there was life there. There were extraordinary things going on. And because it's believed to be so totally empty, it's very close to Europe, and yet, you know, it's still an unknown place. I thought, well, what you do find out and what you will find out there will be unusual and different and something that people haven't seen before, and that was important to me.
And everyone knows it as a hostile environment, but
Yeah.
judging from what we've seen, that little clip there, the people you met,
Yes,
were
social
far
clubs
from it,
everywhere,
yeah.
very chatty. Yeah. Well, I mean, we found a number of people who were able to deal with this incredibly hostile climate. I find that quite interesting, how you adapt to something where there's maybe only one tree in 100 miles. Basically, the food is very simple, they eat millet and maybe a goat or camel every now and then. It's a very, very basic lifestyle. But the Tuareg, who you saw in that clip, they still take camel trains across the centre of the Sahara. And I thought it was just fascinating how they live. And it's a very, very simple life. I mean, it's so utterly different from the life we live here, the sort of pressured life, the material wealth we have, all the things we're supposed to be doing and the decisions we're taking. There, it's just very, very simple. Stay out of the sun, eat in the morning, eat in the evening, and move on.
It does make our lives here seem ridiculously complicated.
I know.
doesn't it?
They think we were absolutely balmy
Yeah.
rushing around. And we were out there it was just out the aftermath of September the 11th. And of course it didn't really register in the centre of the Sahara at all. There were no magazines, no newspapers, no television. So I mean, for them, life went on completely away from the world stage.
Talk us through some of
Yeah,
the
we've got another clip
bits.
here, yeah.
Oh.
Some of the
some of the
interesting
people you
characters.
met, the weird and wonderful people.
We can see them behind us here.
Oh, here we are. Yes, that's me beetle. Oh, Mohammed Chergi. He was, yes.
La cuisine.
Ah, yes,
He was the
yes.
caretaker of the
Hello,
church.
Fatima.
Okay,
Hello.
shukran. Thank
Yes.
you very much.
We're all
Thank you
from
very much.
London. Very nice to see you. Yes. He has been very
Thank you.
good to us today.
Thank you
He's
very
shown me
much.
round.
Yes.
Very, very good.
Thank you very much.
We'll leave you to...
Anyway, please lämna denna passion för la Medina.
Ah, yeah. 40 years. There must be something like that.
Before. Oh, yeah, Mustafa, you know.
Who's he?
He's the caretaker of this, the sexton of this church. And he was a bit like a Python character. He was a wonderful man, but he kept saying, thank you very much all the time. I am caretaker, thank you very much. I show you inside, thank you very much. 38 years I work here, thank you very much. But he's great, and he suddenly hauled us off to meet his wife.
Yeah.
We didn't know we were going around the back of the church, and he gets his wife out and the pictures of his family and all that, and started chucking me under the chin, and all great sort of kissing went on. It was lovely.
Let's find out. There's
Guy.
one about
Yep.
some warriors who are trying to attract a wife. Sounds interesting. What's this?
It's a dance called the Gerawal, and these young men all make up an incredibly elaborate makeup and dance for hours, and then the women are led out and they choose the man they fancy most. So
Reverse
difficult.
beauty pageant.
It is, yeah, absolutely.
Amazing.
Grimacing is very important. You know, pulling your face, rolling your eyes
yes.
is very sexy in this
it?
particular tribe. Yeah.
And a lot of makeup.
And then the interesting thing is that the men make themselves look like women in order to attract the women.
I was
That's
going to say, I wasn't sure which
unusual.
one they were, the women or the women there.
I can see that catching on.
And did they have great success? Were they all taken?
You have to, really. I mean, you have to choose somebody. So yes, everyone gets a partner. It's very important because it's all part of keeping the gene pool going. So, you know, they're one tribe, so they get people in from other tribes, and they have to sort of make sure that, you know, that the sort of the family is kept going. So, yeah, people from other tribes come in, pick a man, and
How long did this journey take you then?
well, we were filming for 4.5 months altogether, but not all in one go. I came back during the summer when it was about...
Too hot, was it?
Well, it was the hottest we ever filmed in was 55 degrees centigrade, which was 131, and I was doing a sequence where I was eating a meal. So I can honestly say it's the hottest meal I've ever eaten and will ever eat. But in the summer it goes even higher than that, so we came back then to cool off in the British summer.
Well, you talk about food there. We've got you eating some other strange food here.
Oh, yeah.
What was that?
Well, I was very honoured. They killed one of the sheep that they take with them on the camel train for ceremonial meals. You can see it's hanging there
Oh yes.
in the background. Aha, yes, little joke, they like that. Yes, English one. Hey, complete twat. Yeah.
You mentioned the section of the church there being an almost Python-esque character. Of course, you shot some of the life of Brian round here, didn't you? What did it feel like?
Yes, in Tunisia.
Yeah.
Well, it was quite odd because it was about 20 years ago, 25 years ago, we shot Life of Brian. And so to go back to the place where we did always look on the bright side, hanging on the crosses, you know. So I could actually do a piece to camera saying, I have been to this place before. I was crucified here 30 years ago. Not many people can say that. But we went back, and it was quite interesting. It sort of felt a little pang of nostalgia.
But it wasn't all laughs, was it? I mean, some of the places, some of the areas you were travelling through are quite dangerous.
Well, Algeria, we were recommended not to go there by both the Foreign Office and indeed the BBC. But if you do go, you have to have security with you. And the Algerians were terribly keen that we should go there, because for 10 years they've had this civil war, loss of life, and a lot of foreigners have been killed and caught up in it. And they're just desperate to try and rehabilitate the country. And so they looked after us very well. So the pictures of Algeria you will see in the book and on the series are pretty unique now. No one's been there for about 5 or 6 years.
Right, well, we shall be talking to you a lot more later on,
Yes.
in about half an hour's time, I think, in fact, because
Interactive.
Michael is going to be joining us to talk more about his Saharan adventures after the programme. It's our interactive forum, which begins at 9:15 this morning. You can watch this, you can watch the interactive forum by pressing the red button and selecting live, plus on your digital satellite. You can also click on the forum page on our website, which is bbc.co.uk/breakfast. If you can't get interactive television, there's a book.
That's it.
There you are. There's a television programme, the whole lot, so you can see more about it then. Anyway, I've got lots of your questions, so I shall be putting them to Michael in half an hour's time.
Now, though, let's